It was supposed to be an ordinary summer night by the Rio Grande River in New Mexico. But what happened that night would haunt an entire community for decades. A family torn apart, a young life brutally ended, and whispers a secret so dark it could destroy everything. Some say the killer was never found. Others believe the answer has been hiding in plain sight inside the victim's own family. This is the Rio Grande murders, sister's deadly secret. The year was 1997. The quiet town of Las Cruces, New Mexico, had always been the kind of place where neighbors waved at each other, where church bells rang on Sundays, and where bad news spread fast because it rarely happened. But on one suffocating July morning, the town woke up to horror. A fisherman spotted something floating near the banks of the Rio Grande. At first, he thought it was debris, but as he stepped closer, his heart stopped. It was the body of a 19-year-old girl, face pale, hands bruised, clothes torn. Her name was Elena Ramirez. And just like that, Las Cruces would never be the same again. Elena wasn't just any girl. She was smart, ambitious, loved by almost everyone in town. She had dreams of becoming a lawyer, of fighting for justice. She was the golden child of the Ramirez family. But standing just a few steps behind her was her older sister, Isabel. Isabel was quiet, reserved, almost overshadowed by Elena's light. People whispered that Isabel was jealous, always living in her sister's shadow. But no one ever imagined just how deep that jealousy ran. On the night Elena disappeared, witnesses recalled seeing her leave a party near the river. She was last spotted arguing with Isabel. Scene 3, the investigation. The police launched an investigation, but things quickly turned murky. No DNA, no fingerprints, no witnesses willing to come forward. But there were whispers, rumors of Elena dating Isabel's boyfriend, rumors of long-standing family tension. And then came the most chilling discovery, a torn piece of Isabel's scarf, found just yards away from Elena's body. Detectives pressed Isabel, but she denied everything. Calm, cold, almost rehearsed. "She was my sister," Isabel whispered, her eyes wet but her voice steady. "I would never hurt her." But the town wasn't convinced. Neither were the cops. Weeks turned into months, months into years. The case went cold, but the Ramirez family never recovered. Their once lively home grew quiet. Their father died brokenhearted. Their mother stopped speaking to Isabel altogether. And then one night, nearly 10 years after Elena's death, a confession came. At a drunken family gathering, Isabel was overheard muttering words that froze everyone in the room. "She took everything from me, and now she's gone." But before anyone could press her further, Isabel stormed out, leaving behind only questions. Was this a drunken slip, or the truth finally clawing its way out? In 2015, a journalist named Marcus Hill, who specialized in cold cases, picked up the story. He dug into police reports, family interviews, and old crime scene photos. And what he uncovered shocked everyone. The original autopsy had been rushed. Key evidence, like fingernail scrapings and hair strands, had mysteriously disappeared from police storage. And one officer in particular had pushed hard for the case to be closed. That officer? Isabel's godfather. It was starting to look less like sloppy police work, and more like a cover-up. Marcus brought his findings to the Ramirez family, and slowly, the truth began to resurface. New DNA technology meant old samples could finally be tested, and when a hidden bloodstain on Elena's dress was reanalyzed, the results pointed to someone shockingly close to her, someone who had lied for years. The walls were closing in on Isabel. Marcus finally tracked Isabel down at her small home near the desert. He confronted her, cameras rolling, asking the question the whole town wanted answered. "Did you kill your sister?" Isabel's face went pale. Her hands shook. For the first time in decades, her mask slipped. She didn't say no. She didn't defend herself. She only whispered, "You don't know what she did to me." And then she slammed the door. The tragedy of the Ramirez family is a painful reminder of how secrets, jealousy, and silence can destroy more than just one life. Sometimes the dead speak louder than the living. And justice, no matter how long it takes, has a way of clawing its way to the surface. Elena wanted to be a lawyer. She wanted to fight for truth. And maybe, just maybe, her story is the very fight she left behind. Just when Marcus thought he had everything he needed to push for Isabel's arrest, something shocking happened. A new witness came forward. Someone who claimed to have been at the river that night. Someone who said they saw Elena alive hours after Isabel left the party. And if that's true, then maybe Isabel isn't the only one hiding a deadly secret. So who killed Elena Ramirez? And why has the truth been buried for so long? The Rio Grande may finally be ready to give up its secrets. But the next revelation will shake the town to its very core. But now, with new evidence, new witnesses, and new secrets rising from the shadows, the truth is becoming more twisted than anyone ever imagined. When Marcus Hill, the investigative journalist, thought he had Isabel cornered, a curveball landed on his desk. A man named Diego Torres, a drifter who had lived near the river at the time, came forward. He claimed he saw Elena alive, stumbling and crying, hours after Isabel had left the party. Diego's words sent shockwaves through the case. Because if Elena was alive after Isabel left, then Isabel may not have been the killer after all. But then, why had Isabel remained so cold, so guarded, for all these years? Marcus confronted Isabel again with Diego's account. She froze, her lips trembling, but then, almost as if a burden had been lifted, she whispered, "I didn't kill her, but I know who might have." Her words were like gasoline on fire. She refused to give names, only muttering she was meeting someone that night, someone dangerous. And for the first time, Marcus saw something in Isabel's eyes he hadn't before. Not guilt, but fear. Digging through old police files, Marcus stumbled upon a name buried deep in witness statements. Anthony Delgado, the former mayor's son. Back in 1997, Anthony was known for his charm and his violent temper. He had been seen with Elena multiple times before her death. And on the night she disappeared, witnesses claimed he followed her out of the party. But here's the catch. Anthony's name had mysteriously vanished from official reports. Why? Because his father, the mayor at the time, had the power to bury it. As Marcus dug deeper, the conspiracy web spread wider. The police officer who lost Elena's evidence? A close friend of the Delgado family. The judge who closed the case? A political ally. The truth was horrifying. Elena's death may not have been just a family tragedy. It was covered up by the very people sworn to protect justice. And Isabel, she wasn't just silent out of guilt. She was silent because she was terrified. Late one night, Marcus received an anonymous envelope. Inside was a handwritten letter, dated the week after Elena's death. It read, "She knew something about him. She tried to tell me, but I didn't listen. Now she's gone. And if I speak, I'll be next." The letter was signed, Isabel Ramirez. So Isabel did know. She had known all along. Marcus confronted Isabel with the letter. Tears streamed down her face as she finally broke. Elena wasn't perfect. She knew secrets about Anthony, things that could have ruined his father's career. That night, she told me she was going to expose him. She wanted me to help her, but I told her not to. I told her she was playing with fire. And the next morning, she was gone. Her voice cracked. I didn't kill her, Marcus, but I failed her. Armed with this revelation, Marcus turned his attention to Anthony Delgado. The once charming mayor's son was now a businessman living quietly in Albuquerque. When Marcus tracked him down, Anthony's reaction was chilling. At the mention of Elena's name, his jaw tightened and he muttered, "That was a long time ago. Best to leave the past buried." But the look in his eyes? Cold, dangerous, almost daring Marcus to keep digging. Marcus wasn't afraid. He took his findings to the new district attorney, who reopened the case. For the first time in nearly 3 decades, the Delgado family's grip on Las Cruces was cracking. The Ramirez family finally saw a glimmer of justice. Isabel, broken but relieved, believed the nightmare might finally end. But just as the walls were closing in on Anthony Delgado, something happened that turned the case upside down again. One night, Marcus returned home to find his office ransacked, files stolen, his computer smashed, and on his desk, In thick black marker, a single note. Stop digging or you'll end up like Elena. The handwriting? Identical to the letter Isabel supposedly wrote. So now the question burned brighter than ever. Was Isabel truly innocent? Or had she been manipulating the story all along? The Rio Grande still had secrets to spill. And the deadliest one was yet to come. To be continued. Please subscribe for part 2.